crazy. I've never seen anything like this in my life.
Hey, friends!
Hey! So this week, we are still in Washington, and we wanted to dedicate a video to this particular place. It's going to be a shorter video than normal, but it's going to be well worth it. But first, down below, go hit that subscribe button. Maybe share if you feel so inclined.
Share.
But this week, we are going to talk about the most beautiful beach in the world.
Or
that we have seen.
Yeah.
And we've been throughout the Caribbean, Bermuda, Turks and Caicos, St. Thomas,
Hawaii,
yeah, all these different places. And this might take the cake on beautiful beach, most beautiful beach.
It was very different.
Yeah, there are places that have, the crystal blue, changing blue kind of water, that kind of thing.
White sand.
Was not it. This was not that type of place. This was all about the beach, and obviously there's the ocean, but this particular beach was probably the most beautiful one that we have seen. But it's a place called Ruby Beach. So it's kind of hard to get to. There's no easy way to get there. From Seattle, you're going to be kind of going down the highway all the way around the Olympic Peninsula up to this place, or from the north. But it's from last time that we were telling you, we had stayed in a town called Ocean Shores, which is right on the ocean. And you go north up toward Port Angeles, and about an hour and a half away from Ocean Shores, you will see a little sign called that says Ruby Beach on it. There was maybe one hotel that we passed along the way, but other than that, there's no other accommodations. But you kind of just pull off the road and you're in this little wooded lot up on top of this cliff, and you can't really see much. On the highway, you catch these little glimpses of the ocean and this ocean waves crashing into this beach that's far down below.
So we just pulled off on the coast of Washington to a place called Ruby Beach, and it's pretty incredible. We're about to go down.
Look at the driftwood. Those are some huge pieces of driftwood.
Oh, look at the water.
Let's go down. Y'all ready?
Oh,
Yeah,
there's
let's go check it out.
what?
Get out of your car, and there's this path that goes down, one way and then the other, and then one way and then the other, all the way down. And you hit this kind of tunnel of trees that you can see this little section of beach, but you can't really see the water. And there's driftwood trunks, these huge tree trunks, just like a lumber company has just come through and just chopped down all these trees and just left them kind of littering along the way. But they're just piled along in front of this path that you come out on. And of course, our boys just bound across these things like they're...
And they weren't easy to get across either.
Yeah, you had to kind of climb and balance and kind of make your way across to this rocky beach. And again, like a lot of other places in Washington, there's just kind of mist and clouds kind of clinging to the tops of these trees. So you see these shadows of rocks kind of beyond these clouds. And so it's just a very mystery-heavy kind of vibe. But then you walk along this rocky beach and you hear the ocean, you see it, and it's just this thing that just kind of envelops you, right?
Hey, boys. I'll get you pictures. Paradise. One of the most beautiful places in the world, right?
This is pretty incredible.
And then these huge rocky hills that are just stationed along this beach, and the boys kind of cut in and out of these little tunnels through these rocky hills.
Oh my gosh, guys.
So the first part of the beach, I mean, we just had a blast, and then there was this other section of the beach that just kind of went on and on and on, like really, really far down. But there was this river, like little stream that kind of cut through, and like everywhere else, I mean, it was pretty chilly. I mean, it was probably in the 50s or so. We were in jackets and all that kind of stuff. But we didn't want to get wet. I mean, the water was kind of too deep to wade through, so we'd either have to take our shoes off or find a way to jump across. And someone had set these little logs and tree limbs, kind of like a stepping stones along
To attempt
through the
to get
stream.
across. I don't know
Yeah.
if they made it.
Right. So you kind of had to balance, your way across this way, but it was well worth it. What was your experience going across the little,
I mean,
the little log bridge?
it was definitely quickly made, and it was pretty scary. I mean,
At
it
any
wasn't
moment,
that
you
it
felt
was
like you could
deep,
fall,
but
right?
it wasn't that it was deep. It was because
Yeah.
the water was cold, and
Right.
it was from the tide pool and back into the ocean, and so. But I mean, we did it. We got a little wet.
Yeah, somehow we got our two young kids across this little
Yeah, they don't care,
lumber bridge.
We were the
and
ones
across
like,
the way.
oh, we don't want to get our feet wet, but
Well, of course they don't care, but anyway. But it was fun. It was fun attempting to get across. Maybe we felt like,
How was it up there, Emmy? Yeah. Come here. No.
But on the other side, there were just these massive, rocky hills.
which was funny because when we first showed up at the beach, it was so foggy and misty that you couldn't even see.
Right.
So as we were there at the beach and the fog dissipated and the sun kind of came out a little bit more, it's like there was more.
It was breathtaking.
It was breathtaking, and not only just the driftwood to the beach, the rocks. Yeah, the way that the sun shone through the clouds onto the tall trees, the tall pine trees, straight off the beach into the cliff.
I think that was the most striking part of it was we haven't
Yeah.
really experienced, and we've been to beaches in Oregon, so you get sort of this, I don't know, there's a huge difference between like a California beach and like an Oregon or a Washington beach, and it's this kind of soulful nature. It's almost like, I don't know, you feel like you could write poetry or something. Like when you're just sitting there, you feel
Right.
very affected by it. And so this beach in particular, I mean, you have this really big cliff face, just covered in pine trees, just towering to the sky, and then you're on this rocky ocean floor with these rock formations jutting up here and there across the beach.
Yeah.
It feels very mysterious, very otherworldly. But the other fun thing that was really neat about it, I mean, obviously we were walking around, we were taking all this nature and this natural wonder into it. But at some point, I don't know where this came from, but somebody had built, with all this driftwood, had built these little sort of shelters.
Mm-hmm.
And so the boys kind of found this little structure over here. And it was incredible. I don't know how it got there. I don't know who put it
What is this? Someone like built a.
What?
Someone built like a little driftwood cabin.
Yeah.
How cool!
But there was 2 of these driftwood structures that were, one was along this little boulder and cliff face kind of area, which the boys just were kind of going in and out of and climbing up and just having a ball. And then there was another one on the other side of the stream that was closer to the ocean, and it was a smaller little cabin or something. I don't know what you'd call it.
It's pretty neat. Of course, they love that.
But it was really.
But the driftwood was just amazing.
Yeah.
It was just, there was nothing like it that I've ever seen where that huge pieces of driftwood that had been there for such a long time and just, I mean, huge trees, just tree driftwoods. That's the best way to describe it. They were like actual huge pine trees that had fallen and drifted onto that beach, and there was what, thousands?
Yeah.
And it was
incredible.
It just made it look like almost like dinosaur bones. It was just very like, I don't know, something really different.
Yeah. Something very ancient about that place.
Right.
I mean, there was just so much you could see and do. I mean, you could go down that beach for hours.
Oh, I'm sure.
And not see it all.
Yeah.
But that was, if you don't do anything else because this is part of the Olympic National Park. If you don't do anything else, Ruby Beach is well worth it.
Mm-hmm.
There were, I think, 4 top things, and we'll talk more about this in the next video on the Olympic National Park video. But there were 4 top things, and the Ruby Beach, I think, was number 1 to view if you go out to the Olympic National Park and you don't do anything else.
Yeah, for sure.
Ruby Beach was incredible.